get that energy back. Here we go. Time to be on again.
Are we live? Hello. I think we might be. It says that the stream health is not good again, so...
Fun. Hey, I am looking at us,
says
and
live.
We do not look super laggy on this end
Yay.
here. Hello?
Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there?
We are here. Finally.
Oven is here. Our audio isn't super synced, but I feel like that will resolve itself here in a couple of minutes. Okay.
Is this working?
One tweet us out again. So if y'all's phones go off, it's me.
Okay.
Good to know.
Nope. The delay on my end sounds more like it did before when we were streaming. I think we're there. Oh.
So we're good?
It's solid.
You know, it'd be wild. I just thought of, like, what if people in Prague are watching this?
That would be crazy.
My brain would actually melt. Josh and Oven, you guys
are amazing.
Thank
the
you
real
so much.
MVPs.
Like, you guys were on it with that notification. Like, you were ready to go again. Like, okay. Hickety heck.
You guys are the best. The absolute best. Alright, so everything sounds good. Everything looks good.
I think we are kind of sounded a little bit, at least at first, that we were talking over each other, even though certainly not. But
stream quality is good now. According to my end, it says.
Okay,
you just randomly came back. Yeah, I bet YouTube stopped with the notifications. They were like, oh, she's spamming.
She's like, why do you do this?
Who are you? Stop.
Just randomly came back.
Hi, Streed.
Okay, Streed's here. All right, yeah, no, that delay sounds completely normal. I think we are solid.
Cool.
Oh, okay. I think we just this poor little brain.
I think so.
We did too much. Yes.
Poor OBS. It'll be okay.
Gita, are you talking, Gita?
I am.
Oh, okay. Now I hear. Where are you?
Oh,
I'm here.
We don't need Skype to crap out on us, too. That's not what we need.
No.
Cool. Woo.
We also have a sassy Sean and a sassy Street in the chat. Everybody look out.
Sassy
that guy
pants.
named Sean. You gotta watch out for him. He's
Thank you for joining, everybody. Who is ready to hear our amazing breakdown? This has been such a long night. I'm like, am I ready? Am I ready?
I really.
Shall we introduce ourselves? And then you can set us up.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Oh, I can start. Sorry, I'm like, woo. I'm Lynette, Professor Lynette from Wizard PhD.
I am Zoe from over at Snitches
And I'm Gita Lovegood. Welcome to my channel. Make sure to check out these two beautiful ladies and subscribe to all of us if this is your first time here and if you like our theory. Yay! Tay just said it's so much better.
Yay.
Oh,
okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming back. Definitely appreciate it.
So much. Thank you so all amazing for coming back.
Yeah, thanks to Gita for troubleshooting and figuring it out. For real.
Of course.
Right, though?
Could not deal with that last stream quality. Alright.
Smash like for perfectionism and also technical difficulties. Also, guys, help Gita out by sharing the stream on Twitter, on Facebook, or your social media platform of choice, because the theory we are about to drop on y'all are.
This is jaw-dropping, you guys.
We were not ready for it. We were not ready for the rabbit hole.
Whew. All right. Who's ready? Am I starting? All right.
It's your channel, lady.
So, we were all talking about this letter, and we were trying to figure out the meaning, and we were like, okay, there's something with Prague. There has to be something with Prague. So, just doing random things, I was like, okay, Prague magic. Or no, just Prague. I just typed in Prague. And among the first few things were this clock. Is the clock the first thing on the slideshow? I think it is. All right. So this was one of the first things that popped up under my search for Prague. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this clock looks awfully familiar. I instantly freaked out and messaged the girls. I was like, you guys, this clock means something. And it's in Prague. Like, it's one of the #1 tourist destinations. Tay just said, okay. So, let me see.
I just can't. I can't.
So let's just
we're not ready.
Compare.
You're gonna need a fresh pair of underpants. This is crazy.
Look at it.
They are so similar.
Look at even those like little inner circles too. You have numbers. You have symbols.
Most of those are runes on the inside. Those are runes.
Yeah.
I think those are the astrology symbols for the one in Prague.
And the inner.
And then the one that is the threat level clock is it's got runes on the inside. Both of them have a 24-hour counter.
They do. On the outside of the one in Prague are astrological, and I think a couple of them are alchemical as well. So
Tejas is freaking out
because Tejas, I wish you could have been with us when we were like FaceTiming about being out. My husband thought that I was hurt, that I was actually injured. It's a lot.
All right. So this is a little diagram of how this clock in Prague works. Just so you can like take a quick little look, I'll let Zoe jump in. I think she's the one that found this and has done a little bit of research here.
You were the one that found it, and then I was the one who like.
Because the guys on the sides of this clock are very important too. Like there are 2 men on each side of the clock. Very important. Remember those.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So there's like there's figures on the side of the clock. If you go back to the first image, so there's figures on the side of the clock. So over on the left-hand side, I'm dyslexic, so don't mind me. On the order that they go in is vanity, greed, death, and lust. At the top of the hour, every hour, rings a bell, and the other 3 figures shake their head. You're going to have to remember they play into our theory a little bit, a lot, sort of mega. So just remember vanity, greed, and lust, and death. Because it's a whole thing. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Except also worry about it. Because okay. so much. So yeah, it has obviously inspired the clock that we see in Fantastic Beasts. It's the Makusa clock. And it looks so similar. And somebody else should take this because I can't. Because I'm just like, it's just so much. Oh my god.
So for those of you that are just getting into Wizards Unite, this is important because this clock is in the game. This clock is on the website. This particular Makusa threat level clock, we're convinced it has something to do with the Calamity. At least it's saying... at least the other one has something to do with the Calamity. But this one, it lets us know what kind of danger level we're at in the magical world, how close we are to muggles finding out about magic. There's a lot. All right, so we've got the diagram pulled back up with everything that the clock in Prague does. Now, what's the next slide?
The next slide is like, how magical is it?
I've got the Makusa clock description.
Yeah, it shows it's explaining.
Okay.
Which you did.
Okay, moving on. Literally everything in Prague is magic. So the layout of Prague is centered to basically be the most powerful alchemical city in the entire world. Prague is the alchemical capital of the world, and it is known as the most magical city.
Sure, it makes sense why Grimm is trying to get to Prague, because there's some magical-ish over there.
There's some super magical-ish. If you hit the next slide, people are not ready.
All right.
People are not ready.
For those of you, I found this on, next I searched Prague magic, and right at the top was 13 places to visit if you want to if you want to go to all the alchemical places in Prague, basically.
We need to remember that we can link. We need to link in the description for our resources because
it was Fodder's Travel, Foder ''S Travel, and it was Prague's 13 most magical. I can't read my own handwriting.
Heck.
Layers.
It's like 13
places.
Prague's most. Yeah.
I can.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
All right. So, as you can see on here, it mentions Harry Potter directly. I'm sure you read ahead. It mentions Harry Potter directly. Prague is full of magic. I'm jumping halfway through. Prague is full of magic. Wizardry, Harry Potter style magic in the form of alchemy. Alchemy is a mixture of plant medicine and chemistry, dominated Prague under Emperor Rudolph II's rule. It was the medicine of medieval times, fueled by the tales of the Philosopher's Stone. The substance rumored to turn base metals into gold. The fascinating magical history is hiding in plain sight. The Philosopher's Stone, mentioned right here. Oh my god. Oh my god.
There's too much. I can't.
Stop all capsing. Nightbot does not like you.
Nightbot hates me.
All right, moving on to the next one. It looks like this got cropped out. So this is an alchemy symbol.
What does that look like?
Zoe found this earlier, and it has another name, but the name that I found for it is that it represents the Philosopher's Stone. So we'll get to the name later, but this symbol represents the Philosopher's Stone.
Freaking out.
But it also looks very similar to the Deathly Hallows. This cannot be a coincidence. J.K. Rowling does not make anything a coincidence.
Nothing is coincidence. Absolutely nothing is coincidence. It's fine.
Oh,
Don't worry
my
about
gosh.
it. It's just so much.
All right. We're going to move on to the next one and let one of you guys go over this Philosopher's Stone recipe.
Do you want to take it, or do you want me to
Zoe.
take it? So, a super good video that you should check out is one by the Super Carlin brothers, where they talk about how Harry is the Philosopher's Stone. You should definitely go check that out. It's a really, really good watch. So I upped the recipe for the Philosopher's Stone. It's very interesting. So phase 1, you have to make the white stone by using and sulfur in a bath of salt. And then phase 2, you have to place that stone in another bath of mercury and sulfur. The significance of this is in the texts that depict all of these is depicted as representing mercury, or as representing sulfur, and Eve represents mercury. So then you have to do another sulfur and mercury bath to get the black stone. That is also depicted as a dragon swallowing a toad. So there's like a dragon involved. I don't know. There's things happening here.
Dragon. Hey,
then,
can I jump in real quick?
Go for it.
Dragons, if you remember from my ancient magic theory, their hides are imbued with ancient magic.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes, very good point. Yes, it definitely, like, just traditionally, like, witchcraft and like uses toads a lot as well. So like the ancient traditional symbolism here, it's all over. It's all over the place. Fourth are mercury and sulfur. This you've got 3 stones at this point: white, red, and black. According to the Super Carlin brothers theory, those 3 stones are represented by 3 characters in the book: Sirius Black for the black stone, Albus, which means white, Dumbledore for the white stone, and Rubius, which is a riff on ruby, for the red stone. And you have to combine those 2 in apparently fire, gold, and silver in order to manifest underneath a full solar eclipse to get the Philosopher's Stone. Real quick, a phoenix is called the Bird of Hermes, and yes, later. So remember Hermes later. Somebody else take it because I can't control the hype.
Next slide time? Okay.
Yeah.
This is just an image for the next one.
Image.
All right. This is another place that you can visit in Prague. So this was another one of those on the list of the 13. So above was the site of Edward Kelly's famous alchemical explorations that would lead to rumors of the philosopher's egg, the first step to the process of obtaining the Philosopher's Stone.
I do have information that it did not load into notes about but continue.
No, you can jump in. That's about all it for this one. I just wanted to mention that this was where the egg was found.
Okay. Well, basically, the Philosopher's Egg were steps in creating the Philosopher's Stone, and then also it was used medicinally during the time of plague. It was literally just like an egg yolk with saffron, for whatever reason, that control a lot of the plague during, all of those fun Dark Ages times when everybody was dying from, bubonic and what's the other one?
Plague.
All those
Plague.
all
Pneumonic.
those
Bubonic and pneumonic plague.
all those
Liver
lovely
types.
diseases.
Whoa, Hexel, you are not ready.
Oh dear.
You're gonna have to watch the replay because oh my god. But thank you for stopping by, Gio. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lynette, did you want to read about this next image?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I keep switching back and forth. We
Golden
are
Lane.
at the alley, okay. So we know that, so this is an image of Golden Lane. And I mean, we've been talking a lot about gold, but it was not originally built with alchemy in mind. And it's a narrow street near Prague Castle, full of tiny houses that are decorated to give the illusion of stepping back in time. It might have been built with the intention to protect Emperor Rudolph II. Collecting things wasn't enough for him, so he collected rare and interesting people. Well, it also sounds like, aren't we collecting things in Wizards Unite with like memories and people and things, and I don't know.
Yes. Blessing hands. Yes.
Right. I mean,
Yes.
every chance I can get to be like, oh my god, that's like this in the game. The only alchemical practices were those of Yuli. Is that am I pronouncing that correctly?
I have no idea how to pronounce his name.
Uhle.
Ooh.
Uli? Perhaps?
An old man who purchased books on magic. It is said that he died with a gold stone in his hand after a large explosion was heard by neighbors.
I wonder if this is what happens when you play Ray and Sulfur in an enclosed environment with very little ventilation. Actually, Street, you as a scientist, what happens if you do that? I know you deal mostly with pathogens, but like, my Street, you are a scientist. Degreed.
So what was this gold stone that he had in his hand?
He 10 out of 10 died in the middle of an explosion, like trying to make this. I'm just saying. We don't have.
All right.
Oh my gosh, just the links for everything within Prague, just like that one little hint in that trailer led us down this rabbit. I just can't. Why are you yelling about
so many
snitches?
things.
Tejas, you have gotten my attention.
The golden stone, I think.
The snitch, not the snitch. You got my attention though, because you said snitch, and like, wow.
All right, so
Plus,
keep going.
like for the next slide, like Prague Castle, like when are we doing a meetup in Prague for reasons? Because
ASAP,
oh my god, that
like
castle.
this is our new #1 destination to travel to first. Like we have to get to Prague as soon as possible.
Yeah, has anyone been to Prague in the chat? I have
know.
not, but obviously we have like a list of places to visit.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited about this. I'm like so excited.
All right.
Oh yeah, the Charles Bridge. It's palindrome.
Hold on. Getting there. Just got the Prague Castle text up. Are you next? Are you ahead of me?
Whizfest in Prague
oh my
confirmed.
god, reversal.
Whizfest in Prague?
Rev, can you please like
Put in that note.
because I would 10 out of 10 be there. Please, senpai. I beg of you.
And
Prague
not
is
that
not
far. Yeah. That's sweet. That's
Gio.
so sweet.
Gio, can we please get a picture of this clock from you? Because oh my god.
Oh yeah. We're
Please.
sending you on a mission.
Please go take a picture of the clock because it's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's just like above all else, yeah. It's just oh.
All right.
The city. I have to go here.
I've got the
She
I've got
doesn't
the
even
bridge
guess.
pulled up. You guys just take in this beauty really quick before we tell you the amazing qualities behind this bridge. It's not an ordinary.
I feel like Lynette should go in on this bridge with its palindromes.
As Zoe pants.
I can't. There's palindromes, guys.
Oh my god. Okay.
There's codes, and there's code breaking, and it's a novel, and I can't. It's so great. I'm in the Born Identity, and I'm so happy.
Lynette, go for it.
Yeah, I can go for it. Is the Charles Bridge, Old Town Bridge Tower. That's what we're looking at, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, first of all, before I start talking, so I know that like someone in my streams that was, or on Twitter, someone was like, "Oh, Lynette has a math degree," but don't put that pressure on me. I'm just saying, like, y'all can help. Generally, y'all can help with numbers. There's a lot of numbers if you haven't noticed from all of our promo materials. We gotta unite to figure it out. Okay, inspired by the palindromic number 135797531 and built on July 9th, 1357 at 5:31 a.m. The bridge was constructed as part of the Old Town Bridge Tower. I mean, what?
I'm
this
curious.
number.
Is that when they started building it or finished building it?
We have to look this up. If this is when they started it or if this is when they finished it. Because if they finished it at like 5 a.m, like imagine being that dude who had to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure this stupid palindrome happened. Because he was like, I swear to God, if this mortar doesn't set in like the right time, I'm gonna lose it.
What I want to know is, are there palindromes that are in any? I don't think did either of y'all look back at any of the teasers or.
I haven't.
Okay, so we need to look up palindromes. I have a whole list now because of this rabbit hole.
New theory: global launch will be a palindrome somehow.
I don't like it. I hate it.
No.
19? Because if it's 19, it's 2019, so that means September. I hate it.
Tejas, we have been talking about maybe July 9th. We're not sure. We're obviously hoping it's not, but there's a few possible dates to go with this. We were also contemplating, because the clock is an astronomical clock and it tells you sunrise and sunset, or like the placement of the sun. We were thinking maybe because the summer solstice is June 21st. So we were also contemplating that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go look for palindromes in the trailers and also in the
fangirling.
Oh dear. I love Must Read. I love Must Read so much.
No, I definitely think that because we talked about this. Oh, I don't know if you just said this. Sorry, but like dates are important, but not necessarily for launch. Like in terms of if, like you said, revealing the storyline or something glitching out. I mean, we've talked about, so we have the dates that we've been finding through our research, which could be a possible thing. But we also know, and this can come more specifically in the later slides probably, but we also know from the clock that there's different things we're looking at. So there's numbers on the clock, but then there's also things to do with planets, like Zoe was mentioning, with the process for creating the stone. There's also thinking about, I mean, just solar system in general, the moon, the sun. We keep track of things. In game, we know for sure we have the moon. There's lots of things that make me think that this, especially what we've seen so far, this game is going to be super interesting if they integrate that as part of what happens in game, if you know what I'm saying. So like planetary things. Didn't you also mention an eclipse?
Yes,
that sort of stuff. Those
We're
big
also
type
thinking
events.
that like all the numbers from all the teasers, are not necessarily like hinting at a release date. They might all just be part of the entire plot line for the Calamity. So they might be important for solving what caused the Calamity instead of just like, oh, when are we going to get the game? So.
Exactly. Yeah. Because at this point, we don't think that 8 months ago knew what game. So, and that's fine. So, like, but now we know that there are important numbers within the plot line of the game for to be launched, and that is perfectly fine with me. I'm super about this. I love all of this.
We would love
this
events planned around like solar eclipses and lunar eclipses just because of all this.
Okay, so Chris Ballinger, you are a practicing Wiccan.
Wow.
That is very interesting, and a lot of these numbers play witchcraft. That helps. Sean, I don't know if we are expecting. I do know that we are expecting another total solar eclipse this year. I believe that was July 1st. No, I'm incorrect. We are somewhere in July. We're expecting another total solar eclipse. So that is happening sometime this year, the time in which you could probably cast a successful Philosopher Stone.
Yeah, and just a quick note, we're trying not to spoil the game. Like, it's great. We're so happy that people are playing beta right now. We're trying not to go too deep in terms of things that people would not know if they don't have the game in hand just yet. But things that like, so we've made videos about things that are like Niantic official. So we know like certain gameplay mechanics because Niantic has posted about it. So just a quick note for chat, just so everyone's happy and we're just having fun.
We don't want to drop spoilers that would like, so like, I guess spoiler warning now. Also spoiler warning.
Yeah.
We could be solving the Calamity here.
We could.
I mean, it's cool.
It's entirely possible. So yeah.
Tay just said that there is a total solar eclipse on July the 2nd.
July the 2nd, yes. That is the one that I found. So July 2nd would be this year, at least, that window for successfully getting yourself a Philosopher's Stone. That would be the only window you have this year. So
if we get to do that in game.
Oh my god.
No confirmation. We don't have any inside anything from Niantic.
If we get you guys should read the next slide because I have to go to the bathroom chugging water like a crazy and I will be back.
Okay. I think we're still there's one important part of the bridge that I just want to read out loud. You can run. Go. You're good. Did you want to keep reading, Lynette?
Yeah, I'll keep reading. Okay, so I already told you the palindrome number, July 9th. We went through that. This number serves to keep the end pillars in line with planetary powers. It also aligns with the rising and setting of the sun, the alchemical power that is equated with vitality and transformation. King Charles IV consulted royal astrologists and numerologists. So, I mean, numerology, that's also, I'm not really into it, but it's like, once we started looking at this, I was like, I should look more into these numbers.
I've been doing numerology since we've been getting these numbers, and they have somewhat been lining up. And I was like, wait, is Niantic just doing numerology instead of, like, something else?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
wild.
Gosh.
So they're consulting royal astrologists and numerologists to find the best time for the bridge's construction. In addition, the sunset on summer solstice falls exactly on St. Vitus Cathedral, further revealing the potency flowing throughout the alchemical capital of the world. There are underground tours that delve into another side of the Charles Bridge for those interested in viewing the bridge from the inside. I also just want to comment on how pretty, look how pretty that is.
Let me
the bridge. It's just gorgeous.
There we go.
Yes, the numbers with the arithmancy squibbler. Yes. Yeah. Yes. It's just like, it's like out of a storybook.
So when are the three of you going to be hired by Niantic to write storylines? Well, Zoe tried.
I tried that already. They didn't want me because, I don't have a college degree, even though, like, I completed some schools and stuff, but, like, you know what? It's fine. I just didn't want to spend $30,000 on an fine. Like, can we not?
But we would love to, Niantic. We would love to.
Yes. I mean, okay, so I'm going to respond to Josh. So I think that, yes, saying that we're grasping for straws, I think that if it weren't for the fact that, so obviously all of us are huge Harry Potter, Wizarding World, Fantastic Beasts fans. Mm-hmm. If it weren't for the fact that literally so much in the Wizarding world is intentional and is linked to history, historical, like actual real things in history. And if it weren't for that, then I would be like, oh yeah, we're just all crazy. But as we know from the Wizarding world, there's a lot of connections here. And it seems to me from what we've seen, especially with these little clues more in the teasers or all these little details, that whoever they have writing this story or working on this game is being very, very careful and attention to the details of the Wizarding world. And so that's why I'm like super hopeful, because I think I don't want to like overspeak for all of us, but like I feel like a lot of us fans like want it to be kind of aligned with canon. We want it to be within the world. We don't want it to be something that disrupts that too much. So I don't know.
Niantic never being intentional. I would say that they're never intentional with certain aspects of the way that they handle things. If you have looked back at the way that they have handled Ingress in particular, with the way that everything for that, if like with the storm, all of that was very, 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 very intentional. And so I feel like in that aspect where the way that they handled the storyline in Ingress and the one apparently from what we've found in Wizards Unite, I feel like that they're the right company for the job. I don't know who else would do this with the way that they have handled marketing and communicating everything else. Yes, we are very frustrated with how they have handled all of that. However, the way in our viewpoint, storyline, I feel like I think it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Yeah. Storyline is looking amazing. Even if
needs more.
Whether it was Niantic or Warner Brothers, somebody knew that they could not just do this. I'm not going to cuss, but they knew that they could not go half in on this, because how intense Harry Potter fans are, like us, that will just like spend hours and hours and hours delving into things like this. And we have spent time previously doing this with previous Harry Potter things, so we know that they are all linked up. Yeah, I'm impressed so far. I'm really happy that all of this, there were so many really, really easy links. We did not have to dig. There was really hardly any digging for the research of this video, which really says something. I don't know. It all fell in line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like it's all easily connected. It doesn't feel like we had to make
it wasn't forced
ultra wide stretches. Yeah.
Nothing felt like a stretch here. It was like, oh no, but this is related to this, and this is related to this, and this is no, it all connects.
And we definitely tried to prove things wrong and be like, okay, could this be this, or like we talked through our theories.
But too neatly. It's like that puzzle piece that you just like, it just goes thunk right into the depth.
And it like, all of the research goes back to the original storylines too. You know, it's not just linked to Wizards Unite. It's linked to the entire Wizarding world.
Right.
So.
The whole thing. Yeah. Thanks, Sean and Street,
Thank
for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys a whole tech ton. It was like really super late. So you guys get some rest, and yeah, you will probably hear me yelling about this in many, many months, and I'm very sorry. For those of you who don't know, Austria and I for 7 years, which means mathematically and like statistically she can never get rid of me. And Sean is her husband. So like statistically he can never get rid of me either, so he's stuck with him forever. So pray for them.
All right. We know that J.K. Rowling is not going to be a part of this game. If you look on the fact section on wizardsunite.com, it specifies that they are using all of the text that's online and in the books to make this game. So they are really, really doing all their fact checking without actually talking to her. So,
yeah.
Not sure if we can claim this as canon, but so far it's making me way less angry than Hogwarts Mystery, so I'm really happy. That's all I'm going to say. We can go ahead and move on to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
So this is at the top of this image is at the top of a hill overlooking Prague, just in general. And what I love about where am I? Sorry. There we go. What I love about what it says for this is that they took so much thought into how big each building was and how every single road was laid out to make sure that their city was charged up with the most aligned energy for alchemy as possible. It's crazy. It's amazing the thought process that they put into their city to make everything work the way it does. It's I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love it.
It's amazing. It just shows how meticulous they were with the planning of Prague, and I gotta go there, guys. Oh, the whole thing. All right.
Next one.
So apparently,
Lynette,
yes,
No!
instead of PhD, there's two of these. Oh no, but we can
Thank you.
We can fix that, right?
Capital D, right? Okay.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
We can fix it. We can fix it on the fly. Hey yo, I saw it be fixed. It did. It's better now. Is better now.
Okay.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Okay, Wonder Woman, see you in a moment. Okay. Our next slide.
Now we're moving on to some facts about the clock. Is this where you want to get into more stuff, or do you already have those laid out in the next slides? I think you do.
I have slides after we talk about snowdrops.
Okay.
But let's talk about the clock just for a second.
The astronomical clock, which, okay, really quick. This is the third oldest astronomical clock in the world, and it's the oldest one still working to this day. The guy that they originally had make this clock, they then blinded so that he could not replicate it again. So they're intense about this clock. They make sure that it is well maintained because they are extremely superstitious that if this clock breaks, their entire city is doomed. So, this clock is very important to everybody that lives there.
I just had a thing. Hang on. What if one of the events, this is just me, what if one of the in-game, that clock breaks? You have to solve a certain amount of puzzles and find a certain amount of things in order to fix it so that Prague is not doomed. like while we're in Prague.
Oh
I
my
can't.
goodness.
Oh my god, that would be so much fun.
Well, so especially because
Yes.
Niantic, at
Tejas
least
and I are on the same wavelength. Okay.
for Wizards Unite, it seems that, or at least not necessarily specifically for Wizards Unite, but at this stage in Niantic's like vision and goals, it seems that they don't want people sucked in completely to their phone. They want the interactive. So like they like obviously they want us playing the game. They want the AR, but they also want, if you think about all the initiatives they've done recently with like sustainable tourism and focusing on historical stuff, and I've seen stuff, I mean, because I want to be one of these people. Niantic, come at me, I'm a professor in real life. Like I want to do events with like we're talking science, we're talking about like history, we're talking about like all of these things that could be really interesting, that has that interactive component of like it's through this game medium, but it's like also multimodal, because you're also physically in a space, or you're virtually traveling to a space. And I don't know, I always geek out whenever I like go down that sort of like, but what they're doing is so cool, or it could be so cool. And I think that they're slowly inching towards that sort of like, I don't know, dynamic.
What if we figured out their plot line? Like, what if one of us YouTubers guessed their original plot line for Wizards Unite last year, and that's why they were like, well, okay, we gotta hire somebody, like a professional, to come up with something.
I applied for the narrative designer position long before I decided that I was going to be a WooTuber.
Okay.
Like I applied, I think a solid 2 months before I became a WooTuber, and then it was like 8 months into being a WooTuber, turned down notice from them. So it took them a while to go through that hiring process, just so you know. And I never got like a callback. It was just a like, nope.
But that's good. That means like they were taking it
fine.
Seriously, you know?
They were taking it super seriously, yeah. And so like they were like, you have no college degree, which I appreciate, because like there's probably some gaps in my brain filled with some higher education. So
all right.
But yeah, calm down with not letting me type in caps.
I don't know is that something I can change?
It probably is.
Yeah.
Like, with the bot that you have in,
okay.
But like probably not something you need to worry about now. Like I won't hit caps lock anymore, even though it's like second nature when I'm super hyped. It's just like hammer caps lock, like fine, don't worry about it.
Sorry. Nightbot is new. This is his first time visiting.
Okay.
All right, I'm on the next slide of the beautiful, beautiful snowdrops.
Snowdrop. Okay. Why are snowdrops so importante?
So as a reminder, there's one frame in the fluffy teaser that has, it looks like pressed and dried, like if you were to take flowers and press them in a book, if anyone's done that before, like a bunch of snowdrop flowers that are pressed and dried. And like in the bottom right corner, there's like a little sticky tape, again, like what we've seen with whoever it is that we're seeing put together these pieces of the clues and writing notes. Says snowflower drop, but we are looking at it. It looks the same as a snowdrop flower, which I'm just going to start talking and then y'all can jump in. But snowdrops are known for blooming as spring is emerging. So because that's kind of what the flower is, it often symbolizes hope, which we were speculating might be related to a Mr. Grimm Folly who is looking for his missing wife, Penelope. Looking for some hope.
I'm so sad about him and his. I feel for Grimm, like hard.
Yeah, I mean, it would be super devastating.
It would be.
Like, and especially because if like they're missing and then, okay, like the case gets closed, then it's kind of like you're desperate. You're out of options.
Poor guy.
Like, is he collecting hope because like he's sad, or is he actually like trying to do something with it? So we also know that snowdrops are used as a pain reliever in herbology.
Do I need to pull the next slide up?
No, I'm just wondering how we know that third bullet point, but that's okay. Or if you want to pull it up. People, y'all know what the snowdrop looks like, right?
You saw it for long enough.
We know it from like a couple of spoilery things, but like we do know that Snowdrop in Wizards Unite. Yeah, we do know that they are collected. We know that they're part of the Stimulo potion. The Stimulo potion is used, we know, quite a bit in a lot of different combat situations. If this is spoiler, snowdrops are important to them when you're playing.
Well, people know that there's potion ingredients that you can collect, and then you can use potions for helping you when you're trying to dispel the confoundables. Just as a general gameplay mechanic.
I don't see the note in here really quick. The snowdrops were the only flower that grew in Prague after what was that?
It was Snowdrop Villa, remember?
Ready to put in the chat.
Yeah, so there's a villa just outside of Prague that's called Snowdrop Villa. And then after it was destroyed, snowdrops were the only things that were growing in that particular area after all of this stuff happened there. So it is fairly significant for this particular Prague where Snowdrop Villa is Snowdrop Villa.
Snowdrop Prague.
It all goes back. It all goes back to
But that's what we're saying. Like, all of this, like, this is too weird to be like a massive coincidence. Like, especially if it's likely that Grimm is the person who is collecting these snowdrops, like, and he needs like a massive amount of them, maybe like go to this villa.
Right. At the very least, he's got to go there for the snowdrops.
I don't know.
My goodness. All right, get on.
Do you guys want me to talk about the Odyssey and how it shows up?
Yes.
Jump into that.
Okay. So, probably you have read Odyssey and Iliad if you have ever taken a literature class or like a high school literature class, or maybe you didn't. So, So basically, Odysseus is out doing his thing. He's misadventure after misadventure, and eventually he's wrecked on this particular island where there is this Kirke. Kirke, as I believe that's how she says that, how it's supposed to be pronounced. There's seals. Kirke is a powerful sorceress who is the daughter of the god of the Titan Helios, and a wood nymph, not a wood nymph, a sea nymph, and she specializes in transfiguration and potions. Essentially, what she does is sailors with a love potion and then transfigures them into either dogs, lions, or pigs. And this is Odysseus's men. And so Odysseus, being the Gryffindor that he is like, I must go save all of my friends and he's going off with just his sword, being like, I don't know, I just has my sword, I'ma do a thing. Hermes, like the phoenix that we heard about earlier, pops down and is like, whoa bro, full breaks, hang on, how are you going to counteract super powerful magic? Odysseus is like, I don't know, man. I was just gonna use my sword. And so Hermes is like, hey, I have this really cool thing. It's or moly, perhaps, M-O-L-Y, and it is described as a plant coming from a bulb with black roots with a pure white flower. So people have theorized this is black. And so Hermes is like, hey, if you eat this, she can't turn you into a pig, and also her potion won't work on you, so you should totes eat this. And so Odysseus, who has, during his very interesting career, both befriended and ticked off many of the Greek gods, that I should probably eat this. If you have read the Odyssey, like, okay, cool, random guy shows up out of nowhere and gives you a plant and like, eat this, bruh, and you're like, sure. I don't know. I don't understand Odysseus like 80% of the time. So he's like, cool. So he eats the plant and then he goes to Kirki. Hey, I want my friends back. She's like, that's fine. You have to hang out with me for a whole year. And he's like, okay, whatever. Hangs out with Kirki for a whole year and doesn't get transfigured into a pig and cannot be ensnared by her potions, which makes people infatuated with her, which 10 out of 10 is a love potion. So yes, Kirki was a master in the Greek era of trans-species transfiguration and love potions.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Well then, let's keep talking about love potions. My God.
So yeah, we know that Snowdrop is a antidote for it helps you be impervious to magic and also love potions. Oh my God.
Yeah, so crisps are symbolic of eternal life.
Yes, they are.
And Chaotic Good says, I like the Snowdrop. It makes me wonder if like super rare foundables might be outside of Harry Potter, but in the public domain, like the Odyssey or something. There's already Merlin, Salem Witch Trials and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I mean, everything, yes.
Sure, we've got something from Homer's Iliad.
Yeah.
So, makes Squibbler, sense. Gryffindor hype. Like, Odysseus was 10 out of 10 as a Gryffindor. Like, he just was just like, I'm gonna go save my friends, like, regardless of what was happening. So, yes. Hermes was 10 out of 10 a Ravenclaw. I'm just saying.
Do we have a slide on the connection of Hermes to the Harry Potter character?
We don't have a slide on that, but we do have an article on that we could link.
Awesome.
For that. The next slide is how it connects to the clock.
Click up or
you want to slide
up to the next one?
Yeah, okay. we can go on to the clock symbols and then we can talk. We can put Harry Potter character. So yeah, we just from the various hints that we've had, various hints like hope. The word focus is in Grimm's letter. The word love specifically in connection to the love chamber and also Grimm's love for his lost wife. We know that hope, love, and focus are very much along with the fact that we have to use focus as an actual in-game mechanic and currency. We feel like that's pretty big. The interesting part is when you tie those back to the clock symbols. And the clock symbols, if you remember, are vanity, greed, and lust, and death. If you think about it, which it doesn't take much of a stretch, it took me approximately 3 seconds to come up with this theory when I first saw it. And my brain exploded, and Lynette and Gita had to deal with that aftermath. I'm very sorry. Is the antithesis to focus. Greed is the antithesis to hope. Lust is the antithesis to love. And so if we follow that train of thought, then death is the antithesis. So there's our ancient magic, y'all. There's our ancient magic.
So many connections. It cannot be a coincidence. It can't be. It can't be.
Oh. Between Prague, between the four figures and their ties to these things, no. What?
Tell me when you want the next slide.
What is the next slide? Oh yeah, and then, okay. Okay, so did we have the symbol for the Philosopher's Stone? We did have the symbol for the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, so the clock can be used to tie back all of these different astrological events and stuff like that. And so therefore it's very key into the practice of alchemy. Also, the combined symbols within the symbol of the Philosopher's Stone, body, soul, and light. And if you add all those up together with the other 4 figures that we also have, you're going to have to hit the next slide because this is where it all goes down.
Go for it.
So if you go for focus, then that means so focus and spirit, which is the opposite of vanity. You add that to love, which is of the body, and then you add that to hope, of soul, and that is the antithesis of greed. Then what you get is life, which is that 4th symbol within the symbol of the Philosopher's Stone, which is the opposite of death. Oh my god. I can't even. Am I done yet?
Back to the stone. Yes. We told you everything was connected. Everything. We started with this clock. We went down tangent central, it seemed like, but no, we did not. We did not.
It's here. Everything comes from stone. Like, literally everything. This, at least our first year's worth of stuff is be the Philosopher's Stone.
Which goes along with the books. So if they have like 10 years of stuff planned for us, plotline wise, like maybe it'll all go along with the books. Maybe this is like not a coincidence that our first mystery has to deal with the Philosopher's Stone, because like there was no way to read about Prague and not read about the Philosopher's Stone. There was no way.
The first thing we saw. Almost.
It was smack in our faces. So
no, it was the first thing that came up was Philosopher's Stone, and then after that it was just a matter of making the smallest of connections. It was not a stretch to come up with any of this. I can't. Because, okay, the light thing, I realize the light thing gets a little bit weird for people because they're like, light and life, how does that happen? And I explained it to Gita like this. It was actually very recently where they did this study on, it was a fertility study. So what happens they were able to tune a camera to a certain wavelength of light, so that they could start fertility studies, because what happens at the moment a sperm meets an egg and it is successfully fertilized, it gives off a burst of light, and it's so small, but what they're able to do study, and this little burst of light that happens at the moment that life occurs is narrow down the margin for error or miscarriage with these studies to the point where they can be accurate within 80%. Like 80%, that's amazing, just because light is given off. Light and energy and life are interconnected. It's so cool.
It's mind-blowing. The fact that literally the moment life is created, the moment that a human is technically created, there is a little spark of light. We are all ultimately light beings. It's so beautiful.
Especially as the mom who has 2 littles, like knowing that moment when they like became real, like that makes my heart my heart happy. Because they're so it's just like okay, that's my little nerd moment. It's fine.
And going back to ancient magic for a second, so like ancient magic is like a real thing within historical context. So like you can go to ancient cultures and like the idea was to try to control supernatural powers. So like I am obsessed with all of this because I feel like, I mean, just the existence of humanity, there's like a lot that we don't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if you think about like life as a thing and like using ancient magic to try to manipulate, but then there's also like within the wizarding world, there are laws of magic. And like the first fundamental law of magic is not to mess with the source of life or the essence of soul. So it's basically like, or the way that I interpret it is kind of like, there's like unknown things that we're not supposed to know. We're not supposed to know how it works to try to manipulate it. And if you try, there's going to be some really bad things happening. We've seen examples in the past in the wizarding world of bad things happening. And I think that in this present day setting, the Calamity is probably one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we're talking about life, death, these things. Love is even one of those like big, like you can't really, we know that you can't recreate a love potion that recreates love. Like it's not love, it's something else. And so it's possible that magical peeps who are trying to create things that cannot be created is like causing some unintended stuff happening.
Or potentially trying to bring back life after, like, potentially going back in time to bring life back.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different options here, but we're starting down this rabbit hole. We're not all the way to the bottom yet.
We're getting there. Chris brings up a very interesting theory where each one of these is earth, air, fire, and water, and the last one is soul. Yes, we know things, and yeah, you could link all to something in this as well, which just is further.
And don't they somewhat, I'm just realizing, I think some of them represent the Ilvermorny houses.
Yes, I noticed a connection between Mercury and the Ilvermorny house horned serpent, where Mercury is often depicted as a serpent. Sign for Mercury has horns on it. So yes, there's some of that happening. That we read the Wiccan read.
Okay.
Good to know. We can try. That can be a part of my list of many things to go down the rabbit trail. The list is long, including like many alchemic philosophers and all. So,
what's on this last slide?
The last slide
summary.
Is the summary.
But I think we should go through it because we also need to talk about the character. Hermes.
Yes, we need to talk about Hermes because I feel like I've yacked enough.
Well, I can talk like generally, and then y'all can add details because I don't know if I'm going to remember like all the details. So like, okay, just for a second, people who are still here, who do you think Hermes could represent?
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts?
Let us know in the chat.
I don't know.
What connection do you think we
Hermes,
made with...
what connection?
It's not a stretch. It's really not a stretch. To catch up because it's gonna take him about 30 seconds or so. Yeah, this is a huge theory. Which is why we wanted to do a live stream
and collab on it because it's so much info. It's just like this was the best way to cover it.
Yeah, like we could try to like edit something, but it would take weeks to edit, and so this is just so much easier. Just be like, oh my. How many times did we text that in all caps to each other?
So many times. We have pages and pages and pages and pages of texts and hours of just video chatting to each other.
Video chatting, yeah, and then like this poor little moleskin has been put through the ringer in the last week where I'm just like covering over in notes, and it's just like, I don't know how to handle. You're aggressive. Can you stop? Do you guys are you guys there yet?
Are you
Rise
not
to
participating?
Valor.
Yeah.
Rise to Valor. Does everybody just want us to tell you?
All right.
Just want us to tell you is.
Okay, so I'll talk first and then I'll share the link. So I'm just going to be reading some things off of MuggleNet, but y'all can go down this rabbit hole yourself and look for other analyses. Okay.
Valerie, you should definitely be taking note. I mean.
So, oh dear.
Get on my level. The dedicated notebook.
Right. Hermione is derived from Hermes, the messenger to the Greek gods. So I'm going to read just this intro paragraph and then y'all can jump in. At first glance, the name seemed of minute consequence, but it seems that nothing is inconsequential in Rowling's world. Finally, in Book 5, a character breaks Hermione's name down, nicknaming her Hermie in a great effort to catalog her name into this memory. While Groff is struggling with the heroine's name, he is pounding the reader over the head with his proverbial fist. Hermione, Hermie, Hermes. It may be a big crimson and gold flag on Rowling's behalf, something she rarely offers. And then goes on to say, like, so if you think about the character, like, what is Hermione's role throughout the series? Like, kind of what does she do? That's the connection that is being made here, is like, what is, in terms of being the messenger, what does she bring? And we obviously know that Hermione plays a major role in Harry Potter Wizards Unite as the Minister of Magic. Like, what? The thing that we have of Hermione is that memo, a memo that's like, oh hey, Constance, why don't we do this? So the question is, what is her role in this?
Well, she could be the Minister for Magic if we're going by Cursed Child. If we're not going by Cursed Child, if we're going by Pottermore, I think you guys said it was Kingsley Shacklebolt is the current Minister for Magic, and Hermione would still be the head of magical law enforcement.
But if we are child as canon, which many Potterheads do not take Cursed Child as canon, then for 2019, then Hermione is technically, but I mean, he's still listed as the Minister for Magic. Real quick, somebody mentioned that Hermes is an owl. Yes, okay, Chris is also on this. Hermes is the owl that the Weasleys buy for Percy once he becomes a prefect. Percy, of course, I'm just making all these connections now. Percy, of course, being named for the demigod Perseus, son of Poseidon. I'm just making that connection.
So yeah, we're just wondering, is Hermione more involved in this than we originally thought? And it could have been innocent, but we're really just like, what is she doing right now? What is her position that she was able to tell Constance to start the Statute of Secrecy task force? Mm-hmm. And yeah, and where's Ron?
Where is Ron? Also, letter, right? The letter that we had to piece together from like the snippets of the trailer, right? Okay, so we know that Hermione is Minister for Magic in summer being school year of 2019. We also know that this big, like, all of the ministries from around the world are trying to contact you, Kingsley Shacklebolt, who we, at least to the present, Minister for Magic. What if Kingsley Shacklebolt is forced to step down because he can't handle the Calamity? Hermione steps up because she's amazing and just handles things. What if that's it?
What do you guys think? Like, if you're live, let us know what you're thinking.
My brain is melting.
If you're rewatching, let us know what what did we spark? Because we had to have sparked something. With all of this, something had to have been like, oh my god, I made a connection with somebody, right? There's 13 minds in the chat right now. Thank you, by the way. Really, thank you so much. It is 3:15 in the morning for me. So that means a lot.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Oh, I think that's I think we've about wrapped it up on our theory and everything that we have with our notes. We probably forgot a few things. There was so much. There was so much info.
Do you want to put up the quick summary slide, just because some people came in late, just to get.
So here we go.
If you did come in late, this is going to be obviously available. Play. If you like this theory, God, hit the like button. Share it everywhere, because like we cannot believe the connections that we made in just the very short time that we did. If we did make the correct connections, this could very well have blown up the entire storyline for Wizards Unite. So it literally everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. I don't freaking know, GeoCities. I was like, let's go there with this, okay? Because this is what? This is what?
Thank you, Chris.
Now, because it's so much.
And thank you all for joining and sitting through all of our babbling and listening to this theory, because like we know that the game isn't out yet, so there isn't necessarily a huge like, why is the Calamity happening? It's more like, where's the game? But we wanted to kind of like change the topic a little bit and like, okay, we're waiting on the game, but we do know some stuff, so let's go ahead and like start digging into what we do know, because why not?
Yes.
The sooner we solve the Calamity, the sooner we save the Wizarding World, which is our goal. Exactly. Although we want to play the game longer, so like conflicting. I'm a little bit conflicted, but
I think that this is going to be, I'm pulling from, my partner Jeff does research, and there's this theory called wicked problems. It's from design theory. So basically what it means is that it's something that when you attempt to address it, it transforms or it changes or it becomes reformulated. So even if we got to a point where we fix the Calamity, I think that there's things, because there's so much, even in these teasers, that we haven't even like figured out, like, what is this? Does this mean something? Yeah. I think that there's
it's like an onion. Like, this is literally just like the outside layer, because it really was like that easy, like as easy as the outside layer to pull off. So we're gonna be just keep peeling and peeling until we get to that core. Oh my, I hope so. Yeah. I hope you're right.
Exactly.
That's exciting to think about.
And then that design theory just makes me go right back to like, you don't know anything about it until it's observed, and then the basic fact that you have observed the thing changes the status of the thing and what it will do from then on. So like, thanks for Rise to Valor, and everybody hanging out with us. Because like this is a lot. This is a lot to handle, and also our technical difficulties were a lot to handle. And
if you were there and you came back, you are amazing. Like, thank you so much. If you just woke up and you joined, you are also amazing. Like, all of you, thank you.
So much.
We are probably going to be heading out, and probably all going to be passing out, so make sure to comment if you have any extra theories or anything to say, any questions. Tweet at us if you want.
Please do.
Join the community Discord, and we can keep going on theories there. So, yes, thank you so much for joining. Make sure to go follow both of these beautiful ladies that joined me. They both have amazing channels with awesome content, and we are all planning on doing daily uploads once Wizards Unite drops. So plenty of content upcoming very, very soon.
Just the storyline alone.
Oh.
Also, oh, I'm so excited to go
Yes.
werewolf hunting. Excited for that. I have problems, but also I'm an horror, so like. Yes, Chris, there will be a description, so make sure you go check it out. We'll make sure all of that is posted and ready for you, Chris. So
it's not
find
there
us on
yet,
Discord.
but I will make sure it's added within 5 minutes. I promise. All right.
There's a lot of really great puzzle solving going on over there too, with just like the things that we couldn't cover in this particular stream.
Well, thank you again. Until next time, you guys know what to do. Make sure to use your magic wisely and keep an eye out for those pesky dementors. Nox. Bye.